my name is Joita. I'm one of the members of the Operations and Logistics Department. I will be discussing on the following topics today. I'll be speaking about the pre-event prep, what we did before the event itself, the problems that we had faced during that time, the solutions that we had come up with, teamwork as in how we worked as a team, the feedback regarding each of our roles, as well as what happened on the rehearsal day itself, the problems that we had faced during rehearsal, about the event day itself, the problems we had faced on the event day itself, as well as solutions that we had come up during the event, and solutions for the pre-event prep. Every Tuesday from 4 to 6 p.m., we would have practical classes on campus. The meetings with Exabyte team would be held on Zoom from 4:30 until 5:30 p.m. max. The Exabyte team would normally discuss what they are visioning for the event, such as from the marketing team, how would they promote, how would they market their event to people, to the guest speakers, and on the platforms such as LinkedIn and Facebook. As for the speaker management team, they would see what the themes are of these speakers for their talks. As for the logistics and operations team, they would want to see how we would set up the event, how we would manage the stage, how are we bringing in the caterers, and etc. And from our end, each team, head of department, would discuss what we had already done for the week and what is pending from us from next week, as well as what is pending from Exabyte team or the caterers or from any staff from Taylor's University. As for the rehearsal day itself, it did exceed a very long time, as our total time for rehearsal was almost 10 plus hours. It was not as prepared as I wanted to believe it could have been prepared for, because everyone took a lot of time coming into the Grand Hall. I was blaming myself because I thought I was running late due to traffic, because I reached around 9:30 when it was supposed to start at 9, but it turned out no one was really there on time either. The Exabytes team representatives showed up almost 3 hours late. Then the caterers came 3 hours late from the Exabytes team's arrival, and then we all ended up starting the actual rehearsal around 4 p.m., which was meant to be 2 hours before the rehearsal was going to end. So with all of that, it definitely did cause frustration for a lot of people. This is the feedback I have on my teammates. We'll start off with Vanessa. She was a great HOD and she was a genuine leader. She was always available whenever you needed her, and whenever we were stuck on something, she was responsible. Whenever she assigned tasks, she would always follow up on them with us and make sure that we completed them on time. And then she, whether it was pre-event, during event, or even post-event, if something had gone wrong, she would handle it with such ease and keep level-headed, which brought an calm aura towards her and surrounded us with a very calm and peaceful. If I was ever unsure about something or I could not reach Vanessa in time, I would reach out to Sarah and she would immediately help. She's also a very calm person and a friendly person. She's very easy to approach. Next, we have Mohammed. Me and Mohammed joined the class around the same time. He's a very eager person. He wants to help around a lot, and he's very eager to learn. And he sometimes interacted in the WhatsApp group. Next, we have Laura. She was a nice person, and she also was eager to learn, and she wanted to help around a lot. And whenever she had questions or needed clarification, she would write in the WhatsApp group. However, once we were approaching the was not always available to do those, and there was a time when Mohammed became sick, and as Mohammed's partner Laura was also unavailable to do the work, and the work was past sick. They are probably two of the most extrovert people in the group. They mixed well with everyone. They spoke a lot. They interacted offline as well as they did online. They were both in charge of F&B catering. They found G&G Elite Catering Group, and their sole focus in the group was just F&B, um, and getting the payment from the Exabyte team. Next, we have Jiayi and Liu Qinyu. Both of them were the two of the most introverted ones of the group. They didn't interact as much in class or in the WhatsApp group, and both of their roles are still, I'm still quite unsure about what they had other than the fact that they ushered for the main. She was a pleasure to work with. I'm so glad I had her for assistant to stage managing, and we ran into a few problems on the day of the event, where my Zello app was not working and I could not receive the messages from the other end, and so she rushed on stage to do those tasks, and she interacted well with everyone. Both. Last is the feedback I have for myself. I think and I believe that I worked hard for this group and for this project, because when I first joined, there was not a lot for me to do. So I constantly had asked Vanessa and Sarah and anyone if they needed help, even if they didn't. And then so on later on, Vanessa gave me work to do. And the works that she gave me, whether it was small or small, starting as maybe copying and pasting the contact details onto the doc, or big tasks such as joining HOD meetings on behalf of her, which I think was really, it was quite important. I felt quite important, and in general, it was just a great experience overall. And it felt that she trusted me enough to do that, and I think that's great. As for the rehearsal day itself, it did exceed a very long time, as our total time for rehearsal was almost 10 plus hours. It was not as prepared as I wanted to believe it could have been prepared for, because everyone took a lot of time coming into the grand hall. I I was blaming myself because I thought I was running late due to traffic, because I reached around 9:30 when it was supposed to start at 9, but it turned out no one was really there on time either. The Exabytes team representatives showed up almost 3 hours late. Then the caterers came 3 hours late from the Exabytes team's arrival, and then we all ended up starting the actual rehearsal around 4 p.m., which was meant to be 2 hours before the rehearsal was going to end. So with all of that, it definitely did cause frustration for a lot of people. There were also a few other problems that we had faced during rehearsal time, where we did not have a thorough practice with all the mics. We did put the mics up on stage where they were supposed to go. However, we tested only a couple of mics instead of all of them. The second problem that we faced was that where the cocktail tables were kept, the door was locked. So for majority part of the rehearsal day, Shinyi and I were not able to run through with the on-site script, as we were not sure how long it would take to bring out the cocktail tables and stools onto stage and off of stage. We also had very less manpower. Backstage crew usually needs more than 2 people, because there's a lot of things that we have to bring onto stage and bring out of stage. We did find out later on that the cocktail tables were extremely heavy to bring in and out of stage, whilst placing the chairs in their allocated positions, and on top of that, switching wine glasses and bottles every session, as well as keeping tablets and mics onto the cocktail tables. Not working, and each mic that we had given them stopped working or had some sort of issues with it, which looked very awkward on stage for the audience, as well as for the guest speakers. From the AV team, we had problems as the main presentation slide was not aligning with both left and right slides. So when the QR code was presented, the audience were confused from time to time. There were also we did have mic problems. However, we got a technician who came to fix all of the mics during lunchtime. As well as there were last minute changes to the on-site script for stage managing. that was announced in the WhatsApp group right before Miss Chong Peng went on stage. So myself and Shin we were confused, and so were some of the crew members that became available to help out on stage. As for the registration team, there was a very slow process, as some of the lanyards were already printed and the others were given to the Exabytes team, but they were running late, so they couldn't give it in time. There were issues with the caterers as well, as they tried coming in to deliver the food from the parking lot bare feet, and it caused a lot of hassle with the Taylor's University staff, which Anthony and Isaac later on resolved.